artist, a mutt who doesn't know what he's talking about, doesn't do his homework, doesn't care, thinks he's gaming society, doesn't pay his taxes. I mean, he's so blatantly stupid. He's a punk, he's a dog, he's a pig.
Did you hear about the latest smackdown? Between Robert Niro and Trump, it's like watching two grumpy old men fighting over the last pudding cup at the nursing home, but this time Niro is bringing out the big gun. The raging bull himself is stepping into the ring with the Orange Menace, and boy, is it getting spicy. We're talking insults that would make a sailor blush. Stick around to see who lands the knockout punch in this geriatric grudge match. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now back to the video. All right, folks, buckle up because we're about to dive into the wild world of Robert Dow's Trump bashing extravaganza. Remember when Niro was just that tough guy from the movies? Well, apparently he decided to take on a new role, chief Trump critic extraordinaire. Now Niro has been throwing shade at Trump for years, but it's like watching a slow-motion train wreck of insults. At first it was just a few eye rolls and some muttered comments, but as time went on, our boy Bobby D turned up the heat faster than Trump's spray tan machine. Picture this: Niro, the man who gave us "You Talking to Me," now giving us gems like he's a punk, he's a dog, he's a pig. I mean, who knew the guy from Goodfellas had such a way with words? It's like he's been secretly writing insults in trailer between takes all these years. But wait, there's more.
8 years, we've heard you talk about the former president. You have called him a fraud, a con artist. You've said he's...
The bottom line is, it's Biden versus Trump. We want to live in a world that we want to live in and enjoy living in, or live in a nightmare. Vote for Trump. You'll get the night.
De Niro insults started getting spicier than a bowl of Trump's beloved taco salad. He went from calling Trump a artist to, well, let's just say words that would make even Joe Pesci blush. And then came the 2018 Tony Awards. Oh boy, did Niro bring the fireworks that night. He strutted onto that stage like he owned the joint, looked straight into the camera, and dropped an F-bomb that had censors working overtime. It was like watching your grumpy grandpa suddenly turn into a sailor on shore leave. But here's the million-dollar question: is Niro channeling his tough guy roles, or is this just pure unfiltered rage? I mean, is he method acting as Jake LaMotta taking on the Orange Menace, or is this just Bob being Bob? The public reaction has been more mixed than Trump's business ventures. Some people are cheering Niro on like he's rocking Rocky taking on the Russian. Others are cringing harder than when they watched the adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle. Yeah, Niro was in that. We all make mistakes, folks, but our man Bobby D wasn't done yet. Oh no, he was just warming up.
Con, a bullshit artist, a mutt who doesn't know what he's talking about, doesn't do his homework, doesn't care, thinks he's gaming society, doesn't pay his taxes. I mean, he's so blatantly stupid. He's a punk, he's a dog, he's a pig.
He kept swinging at Trump like a verbal piñata, each insult more colorful than the last. It was like watching a master painter, but instead of a canvas, he was using Trump's ego as his medium. And then, ladies and gentlemen, came the pièce de résistance, the coup de grâce, the insult to end all insults. Niro, in all his glory, called Trump a sociopathic, psychopathic, malignant narcissist. Now, I don't know about you, but I had to look up half of those words. It's like he swallowed a psychology textbook and a thesaurus and just let her rip. You'd think after Dow's verbal smackdown, Trump would come back swinging like Rocky, but his comeback was more like a deflating balloon at a kid's birthday party. The Orange in Chief, known for his Twitter tirades, suddenly found himself struggling to craft a zinger that actually zings. It's like watching a squirrel critique Einstein's theory of relativity. Amusing, but ultimately pointless. Let's dive into Trump's late-night rant, shall we? Was it past his bedtime, or did he just best run out of Diet Coke? Our favorite Mar-a-Lago resident took to his keyboard, probably with tiny fingers hovering over the keys, ready to unleash his fury. But what came out was about as impressive as his hair. On a windy day, first up, Trump decided to play movie critic move over Roger Ebert. The Donald called Niro a wacko and claimed his movies aren't worth much anymore. It's like he's trying to be the Rotten Tomatoes of politics, but his reviews are about as fresh as week-old sushi. I mean, come on, Donnie, have you even seen The Irishman, or were you too busy watching reruns of The Apprentice? But wait, it gets better. Trump and all his creative genius came up with a nickname for Niro. Drum roll, please.
It makes me so angry that this country has gotten to this point, that this fool, this bozo, has wound up where he has.
A joy but of relief at least that he's potentially facing some consequences? Because, as you've said before, this guy's a con artist.
Punchy, that's right, folks, the man who gave us such classics as Crooked. Hillary and Sleepy Joe decided to go with Punchy for one of the greatest actors of our time. It's like he's stuck in a playground time warp where the best insult he can come up with is something a 5-year-old would say after losing at tetherball. Now let's compare Trump's insults to Dow's. It's like watching a pillow fight between a feather and a brick. Dow's jabs are sharp, articulate, and hit right where it hurts. Trump's comebacks, they're about as effective as a screen door on a submarine. It's almost like he's trying to prove De Niro's point with every weak attempt at a comeback. But here's where it gets really interesting. Trump seems to have a strange fixation on Dow's physical size. It's like he's compensating for something. Maybe it's his hands or his poll numbers or his ability to string coherent sentence. Whatever it is, Trump's obsession with size is about as subtle as a neon sign in Times Square. And then, ladies and gentlemen, we have Trump's piece, The Resistance, his go-to defense, McConney's ISM Trump derangement syndrome. Anytime someone criticizes him, boom, they must be deranged. It's like he's handing out imaginary diagnosis faster than a shady doctor writing prescriptions. But here's the thing, Grumpy Trumpy, if everyone around you seems deranged, maybe it's time to look in the mirror. But the cherry on top of this word salad sundae.
No, he's more than that to me. He's sick. He is really, genuinely a sick person that somehow has been allowed it. And I'm not calling him, I'm tired of calling him names. He just can't be anywhere near the office of the president.
Trump boasted that Niro was met with a force greater than the radical left mega now. I'm no mathematician, but isn't MAA supposed to be his own supporter beseats like he's playing political Mad Libs and forgot which team he's on? Well, folks, it looks like Robert Niro is taking his act on the road, and by road I mean outside Trump's trial. Yep, you heard that right. Our favorite angry grandpa of cinema has decided to trade in his movie scripts for protest signs. Talk about method acting. So picture this: Niro, the guy who's been shouting at Trump from behind a microphone for years, suddenly shows up at the actual trial. It's like when you finally meet that internet troll in person, except this time the troll is orange and has his own courtroom drama. Now you might be thinking, isn't Niro a bit old for street theater? But let me tell you, when this Hollywood heavyweight hit the protest scene, it was like throwing a spark vampire into a twilight convention. The paparazzi went absolutely nuts. I mean, who needs red carpets when you've got courthouse steps, right? But here's the million-dollar question: is Niro pulling a publicity stunt, or is he genuinely fired up about this whole Trump situation? It's like trying to figure out if a politician actually means what they say. You never really know, do you? The public's reaction has been more mixed than a bag of trail mix at a health food store. Some folks are cheering Niro on like he's just scored the winning touchdown at the Super Bowl of activism. Others are rolling their eyes so hard they might need to see an optometrist. It's like Dow's become the political equivalent of pineapple on pizza. You either love it or you're wondering who thought this was a good idea. Now let's compare Dow's protest style to other celebrity activists. We've got your classic megaphone wielders, your social media warriors, and then there's Niro showing up like he's auditioning for the role of angry citizen number one in a courtroom drama. It's like comparing apples, oranges, and well, whatever fruit Trump's skin tone resembles this week. But here's the kicker: Dow's little sidewalk swear might have some serious consequences.
I'm going to say one thing. Trump. I owe this city a lot. And that's why it's so weird that Donald Trump is just across the street. Because he doesn't belong in my city. They bought into his bullshit. Trump bought their votes with outrageous lies and empty...
Hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video. If you stuck around the end, drop a blue heart in this comment. And until next time, I will see you soon.